Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hired and Wired. We do this every Wednesday at 10:30 Central. Today, we are doing it at 1:30 Central because I had a migraine, but I still wanted to be here. So sorry for making you wait. Did we do this last week? I don't know. Things have been a little crazy, but it's great to see you. My name is Emily. I'm the tech recruiter. I've been recruiting for 10 years, 6 in crypto, and we are launching in tech, SaaS, AI, blockchain. We did blockchain, but now we do it more. Um, so Q3, we are in Q3, and it is all about momentum. And so I am here to make sure you have everything you need to hit the ground running, because showing up is one thing, but being truly set up for success is another. That's what we're here to do. So we're going to talk about a couple things today. One, as always, LinkedIn profile audits. LinkedIn is half the battle. I have clients that look at a LinkedIn profile, they don't even open the resume. So one of my clients, I have to be like, hey, look at the resume and then I will send you the LinkedIn profile. And it would be so much easier if our LinkedIn profiles look just like our resumes and yada, yada. We can dive into that a little bit later. So I've got a banner up here, a little ticker situation. If you would like a LinkedIn profile audit, me to review your LinkedIn profile for free, for free. More than happy to do so. Just comment profile, I think is the keyword, and we will go over it together. The goal of this exercise is to help you get more jobs, get more interviews, more recruiter reach outs. If you look at my LinkedIn profile, look at some of my recommendations, there's quite a few. A lot of people will tell you, this is what I'm good at. Is there anything else I need to? This is what I'm good at. This is my job. So I'd love to help you, but leave a comment for profile and I will set you up for success. But before we get into profile reviews, leave a comment and we'll get right in there. But I want to give you something useful. A real list of companies with active openings right now in AI, blockchain, fintech, and SaaS. So you know where to point your applications this week. So then we'll dig into the trends, what's quietly changing, and how top companies find candidates. I hope you guys are ready for a ride, because that is exactly what we're doing. So a growing narrative this year is that top tier companies are increasingly sourcing candidates directly from where they build. So GitHub for engineers, Dribble for designers. So rather than LinkedIn applications, part of the reasons recruiters are drowning in AI generated resumes that all look flawless and identical, we're digging even deeper into where you're actually building. So your portfolio might actually matter more than your profile right now. So my question, are you building in public? For the non-technical people here, the equivalent is showing real work. So case studies, writing samples, decks, not just a polished summary. What do you guys think? Because I'd love to help you. Is my internet really doing this to me? Absolutely it is. Companies that are hiring right now. Of course, the big guys, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Apple, Meta, NVIDIA, they're posting thousands of jobs. They're combined with AI roles, engineering, applied machine learning, infrastructure. Those are the deepest pools right now. OpenAI and Anthropic, rapidly expanding. Anthropic has also been quietly acquiring small AI startups, which signals strong internal hiring appetite right now. Fabulous. It also means layoffs, but we're not here to talk about that. Blockchain. So Coinbase, Circle, Alchemy, Rain, steady openings across engineering, partnerships, legal, and compliance. And Stripe is worth flagging here too. They're building a layer one blockchain Tempo, and it's driving a new wave of crypto adjacent engineering hires, even though Stripe is just a fintech. So Stripe has nearly 200 open roles across engineering, product compliance, and go-to-market. They're one of the most active hires in the space right now. Aiden, counter trend. While peers cut, which is unfortunate, we can talk about this soon, they're targeting 550 to 650 net new hires this year. So that is, and they're concentrating in the US. So Aiden, wow. 10 out of 10. Wise has 400 open roles. They are hiring heavily. No. I can do this. We could do this. They are hiring heavily ahead of a planned U.S. listing. Mercury, they've been profitable for multiple quarters. Hiring isn't contingent on funding round. Strong sign of stability here. Revolut is hiring aggressively, especially overseas, but they still have real US UK senior openings. In the SaaS side of things, it's hiring, but it's more selective. So they're looking for platform engineering, GDM, and product roles, definitely tied to AI filter buildouts. That's the strongest category I'm seeing right there. AI hiring on LinkedIn has doubled since 2023. The AI roles now make up, I'm really doing a great job here. Thank you so much. They make up over 3% of all jobs listed on the platform. So it's no longer a niche specialization. Quieter trends look worth flagging. Big companies are increasingly acquiring small AI startups. They're looking to absorb their teams, and several just happened this month. So for job seekers, joining a promising small startup can sometimes be a faster path into a major company than just applying to companies like Amazon and Meta immediately. Okay, we did that really fast. So that is the landscape. I'm going to check LinkedIn, make sure we are working in a second here, but don't forget, if you need help with your LinkedIn profile or if you have general questions, that is what I'm here to do. 1 hour every week on Wednesdays, bringing value to you to set you up for success. Let me check LinkedIn. I should have done this earlier. I hope everybody's having a wonderful week. I'd also like to know where you're from. Where's our audience from mainly? I'm from Chicago, born and raised. It is 94 degrees here. Hate that for me. Hold on. Okay, this isn't going to let me mute it. Wonderful. So just be ready to hear a little background noise. Beautiful. Okay, are we live? We are live. Turn volume off. Okay, the quality is questionable, but that's okay. So I'm going to close this. We actually just finished our weekly job support meeting. 10 people a week come to this event and we just talk about their pain points. If you guys have any pain points on what you're really struggling with or something that just doesn't feel right, let's talk about it, see where we can make an impact. I just got back into the office last week. It was a good break. I went to Nebraska to see my best friend. No offense to people living in Nebraska. There's not a ton to do, but that's okay. We had a great time. And thank you for all your support on my most recent post. Manuel from Nigeria. Hello. It's nice to meet you. Thank you for coming. Let me know if you have any questions. But it's been a good week. We've had a couple new jobs open, some remote, some not. I will tell you the job market is definitely interesting right now. Companies are hiring, but it's frustrating to see that they're using so many AI tools. It really limits the talent pool, and it also makes it that much harder to get past the algorithm. The key to success is keywords. I hate to say it, but that's what everybody's looking for. So it's really important to grow your resume as you apply. So as you're applying to jobs, you're going to see bullet points, 3+ years of experience with Salesforce, right? As you continue to apply to jobs, feel free to continue to have your resume evolve, right? Maybe you're missing that keyword Salesforce. Let's get that in there. Maybe it's asking for, you've got 25 years of experience, but maybe it's only looking for 10. One of my favorite suggestions is actually only putting 10+ years of experience on a resume rather than 25, right? There is a stigma when it comes to more of the tenured professionals. What do I mean by that? A lot of and guys, this is not my opinion. These are not my opinions. These are opinions from hiring managers that I've gathered over 10 years. And every year they change and evolve. But one thing that's been consistent is when you have a ton of experience, is it useful? Yes. Is it proven? Yes. But they worry that you've learned bad habits, right? You're accustomed to doing one thing for 25 years. They think it's going to be hard to coach you into doing something different. So I think keywords like coachable, mentorship mindset, team collaboration are really important if you have a ton of experience. That's kind of what's going on in my side of the world. We had a couple new roles open up in Chicago. Oh, this is something I wanted to touch on. So a lot of, hey, Colton from Cape Cod. Welcome, sir. What's interesting is a lot of my clients that have notoriously been on site are now offering remote flexibility. Love it. Best choice ever. I think that, for a while there, companies really went all in on site. And now they're sort of realizing that but that doesn't work for everybody. I do think 2020 kind of set an expectation of flexibility. And even for me, 2020 really transformed my own opinion of work. If you guys that know me, that have spoken with me, my team, I was just a workaholic, working all day, all night, always responding to DMs within seconds. And since 2020 and some recent life events, I've really been enjoying this whole work-life balance thing. Who would have thought? Who would have known? Not me. So I think that's something that, we're kind of following the European way. Yes, there's still plenty of workaholics. Yes, I still love my job, but at the same time, there's a real understanding of the value when it comes to work, right? And being able to balance it with life. And I think a lot of the employees in general never really understood the balance between their life and working. And I feel like 2020 really changed a lot of our mindsets. At least it changed mine, which is my mindset for work is very hard to change because I've just been so dedicated to, one, building a company, and two, making an impact, right? I get a lot of joy from helping people. So that's something I'm really proud of, is kind of understanding like, hey, work important, but you can get it done and still have time to yourself. So that's kind of what's going on in my world. We have still made a huge impact on hiring. We're filling jobs left and right. Our most recent fill was a head of marketing for a crypto firm. I actually can't get into the details. Hi, Steven. I actually can't get into the details because they're quietly building, but it was a head of marketing based in New York, a hybrid role. We found the perfect guy. I've actually worked with him before. My candidate was a previous hiring manager of mine. So that was kind of exciting to be able to work with him again and place him in a new role, not just hiring for him. So yeah, kind of what's going on over here. If you need help with your LinkedIn profile, give me a shout, leave a comment. Would love to make an impact. Other than that, those are the jobs we have open, or those are the jobs that I'm seeing in the market. Some of the jobs that we just had open was a product manager for payments, a ML engineer that's hybrid in Chicago. Let's see here. Colton, a lot of the companies mentioned, let me just pull this up. A lot of the companies you mentioned earlier are looking for New York-based candidates for go-to-market roles. What are your thoughts on those of us who will not be able to relocate? Excellent question. I'm so glad you brought this up. So, like a couple of my other clients, this is a recent development. They are starting to realize that home life, remote life, personal lives are becoming more valued in our workforce. So if we were talking 5 years ago today, I would tell you everyone would jump on that opportunity. They would move to New York, and accept the role and just absolutely dive in. I think that because there have been such a strong trend of layoffs, I can't tell you how many people are in my DMs like, Emily, I relocated, I got laid off. Now I'm stuck. What do I do? So personally, how I feel personally about this may be different how you feel about this, but I wouldn't relocate for a job that is with a new company instead of an established organization that I've been at for 5-6 years, right? Here's a great example. I was working with a gentleman who lived in Chicago. He worked for a company for 8 years based in Chicago. The owner of the company decided to move everybody to Miami because he wanted to live in Miami. Fine, taxes, great. But this gentleman did not want to move to Miami. So he actually did a hybrid role where he flew once a week to Miami and then came back for his family. The company ended up deciding to be 100% on site. So they did lose him as a team member. And he was like a very high up employee. And they're trying to replace him. It's been about 6 months and they still haven't replaced him. So I don't know. I think it's a personal preference. It's a risk to move to a new place for a job. So what I'm saying is these companies will be more thoughtful in the future. They're going to be stuck on hiring in New York right now. Give it a couple months. They might realize that there needs to be more flexibility. But we're dealing with the reality. We're dealing with the cold hard facts. They want someone in New York. You're not based in New York. It's kind of an answer in itself. But I do think more flexibility will start coming back in the market. It went fully remote then, this, company's fully remote for COVID. Oh, that didn't work so well. Let's go back into the office. Ooh, that didn't work so well. Let's now go hybrid. I also think companies should have travel budgets, right? If you are the right person for the job and the company sees a benefit to having you on the team, they'll make adjustments. So Colton, let's say you did plan to move to New York. You were totally comfortable with it, but you're located in, I think you said Cape Cod right now. I would actually have a resume that reflected a New York zip code. And when someone says, hey, how long have you been in New York? Oh, I'm actually relocating to this specific area. So I'm excited to be applying to new jobs in New York as I make the transition, right? So it's always easier it's very hard to say to someone, hey, I can relocate. Companies assume that you're looking for a relocation budget or assistance. And if you make it clear, I'm relocating, you don't need to have anything to do with this, you're more likely to be able to move forward in the interview process. So hope that's helpful. It's kind of all I've got for you guys. I know this was short, but it's been a wild week. I've got a lot of recruiting to do. So feel free, if anybody needs any additional help, at the top of my profile, there is book an appointment. Every week we have a group of 10 that get together. We answer general questions. We talk about pain points. We focus on what can I help you do better. Today's session was very beneficial. I met some really great people. So yeah. Let's see here. Hari, do you think ATS uses AI and rejects candidates? If not, how does recruiters pick the resume for a job description? Wonderful question. So the ATS is a beast. The ATS is keyword matching. So it's looking for, specific keyword. And if you don't have that keyword, your profile is just automatically rejected. Is this fair? Absolutely not. Are there thousands of resumes being submitted? Because candidates are aware that this is a numbers game and they've been ghosted enough time to know that they have to continue to apply. Yes. So it's a tough situation to be in. So if you receive an automatic rejection letter from a company like 24 hours in, you were missing a specific keyword. The way to combat this is to reach out to people at the company, reach out to the hiring manager, reach out to HR, reach out to peers, and say thank you. Hey, thank you for the opportunity to apply. I understand I wasn't the right fit, but if you ever need someone in the future that has X, Y, and Z experience, I'd love to be considered, right? So let's say you're rejected because you didn't have the experience. I'm trying to think of a good word. You're a graphic designer and you didn't have Figma on your resume. And you realize that when you got rejected for the role, it was because you didn't have that keyword Figma. You can reach out and say, hey, if you ever need someone with, 5+ years of experience in Figma, I'd love to be considered. Thank you for the opportunity to apply. This will potentially get them to log back into that database and understand why you were rejected. And maybe they could realize that the applicant tracking system made a mistake. But this is where it gets back to evolving your resume as you apply. So as you apply, you see different words they may be missing on your resume. Add those for the next application or the application that you're about to send in. So how recruiters match is when the ATS filters out all the mismatches, we then go through the resumes, and unfortunately, this is the truth, I'm being honest with you, we spend 3 to 30 seconds on a resume to make a decision if we want to move on to the next step. The sad part about job hunting right now is they're not looking for reasons to give you a chance to tell your story. They're looking for reasons to disqualify you because there's so many applicants, right? So if I'm looking at 2 resumes, similar resumes, but one of them has more job stability, I'm going to call that person first. So everybody's making negative assumptions when it comes to resumes. I mean, that's just in general, right? Something happens, we make a negative assumption first. It's just how psychology works. So you want to make sure your resume is aligned in a way that someone looks at it and doesn't make a negative assumption about it. So yeah, that's kind of the thing. Recruiters are scanning resumes. They're looking at dates of employment, longevity. They're looking at job titles. They're reading the first sentence of your summary on the resume. Yeah, that's kind of what they're reading. So always reach out to the recruiter that's posted. Hey, and again, flattery will get you everywhere. Hey, Jane, just wanted to say thank you so much for reviewing my resume. Please keep me in mind when you're hiring in the future. Simple as that. Right? When you're more kind to people, they're more likely to respond in kindness. And I think that's half the battle. I have a lot of people reach out to me very frustrated, which I fully understand. But when you're mean to me, I remember that. and I'm less likely to help you in the future. So always reply in kindness, always reply in a way that keeps the door open for future interactions. So that would be my advice there. It kind of went on a tangent beyond the applicant tracking system. It is the bane of my existence. I would always recommend, by the way, when you apply to LinkedIn and you see those questions, don't just respond yes to all those questions, because I'll review an application that has fit the criteria, and then they're lying, right? It means you haven't read the questions. And that's just a negative strike against yourself, because it says to me you don't care. It says to me you're fibbing to try to get your way through the interview process. And again, those are just not things you want to be doing. So anyway, we'll wrap up. Thank you all for joining. I hope you found this valuable. Next week we'll be doing, okay, hold on 1 second. I spoke too soon. All right. This is a wonderful answer. This is what I was looking for, because I am a MS in AI graduate, and I've built a completely AI agent app that reviews the whole resume in accordance to the resume, including the location of the job. I would really appreciate it if you had, and be grateful if you had 5 minutes anytime this week to review how I do this. All right, great pitch. Absolutely love it. Feel free to send me a DM. I can see if I have time to take a look. So anyway, I hope you all have a great Wednesday. Sorry for being late. Had to reschedule. Wanted to be here anyway. Colton, very nice to meet you. Everybody, take care. I'll see you next Wednesday, 10:30 Central, not 1:30. I'll do my best, and I'll see you all soon. Thanks, everybody.